Hey guys, welcome to this week's show. Some stuff to cover here. Not as much as usual. We're going to avoid. We're not going to avoid. We're going to skip the prediction results. With me this week, I have Kyle. Thanks for joining me, Kyle. It's
Hey,
been a
always
while.
nice.
Been a
It's been a
while. I
while.
like the festivity here that you have going on.
I figured I'd dress up for the occasion.
That's right. It's Christmas in Leafs land right now. COVID's going around the league. But anyway, we'll talk about COVID maybe a little later, how it's affected everyone. There's been some you know some comments made. It's affected everyone, right? So
Yeah.
but we're gonna review week 9. We're gonna talk about week 10 predictions. We're gonna talk about the few trades that went through, including today's trades. I think today it's the right time to talk about it, and we got some standings. Something unique is we're recorded on a Tuesday, and there were no games played last night. So we got a fresh, clean slate here, even though it's Tuesday. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see some predictions. I scout out the matchups a little bit here, trying to get an idea where I wanted to go, but I don't know. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
You ready to get into this?
Let's do it.
Right. So last week here, week 9, first matchup we're going to talk about. Le Champion, Team Ramrod, defeating Hockey Balboa 12-2. What do you want to say about this? What do you got to say?
Well, it was as you can see from the score, it was a real butt clencher there. The Braden bye week is truly alive and well. So no shock on the result, really.
To be honest, though, some of the categories were closer than they seemed. Like hits and blocks and all that stuff. It was fairly close. Even goals and assists were pretty close. But my goalies showed up last week, and that's something they've rarely done all season. And they showed up. I think I had 7 starts and I got 6 wins. My boys were on. Second matchup here with I got canceled. Getting ravaged a bit here, 9-4 against Charlie Browns. I think Sean taking advantage of Derek always waiting for his baby here. I don't think that's a little fair, but that's not my judgment to make. What do you think?
Well, I mean, Charlie Brown's got a pretty steep team. I got canceled. He's got some injury bug. He's got some players that aren't playing that well. Plus, let's be honest, the pool does take a backseat to the birth of your first kid. So, the guy's probably not playing at his best right now. Charlie Brown's got a good win.
100% agree. Right? Obviously, life is priority. Right? He's already had his day in the sun. These figures say Sean could use a win. He needs a bone here. So we got a tie. Apparently, I thought this went one way or the other. Was there a stat correction or?
It looked like it was a last-minute save.
One save.
Like
Woo.
Yeah.
Cherry picking daddy and saucy pass tying at 7. What do you think of this?
This one came down literally to the wire, and it seesawed all week. And I mean, good for both for getting the half point out of it. I mean, I think Kyle wanted the win more than Saucy Pass did. But hey, a draw is better than nothing.
Interesting to see here. 1 point separates them, and you got 9th and 14th, right? Like, just shows you like how log jammed it is, except for maybe the top couple, right? But
yeah,
it's gonna be interesting to watch because I don't think these are 2 teams that they're not throwing in the towel right now. They're kind of both competing, right? So that's gonna be interesting to keep an eye on. Daltrey, did y'all try the beef? He tried it. And he fed the goalie. 10-4. What do you think of this?
It's good to see Daltrey get back in the win column there because he was having a bit of a rough go there for a bit. He's got a good team, so I wasn't surprised that he took this one. Please don't feed the goalies. New GM rebuilding. Not a shock he's where he is. Good win for Daltrey.
Man, at this point, like Tyler could do some things to salvage his season, right? He should be shopping like Backstrom, who's been out all year, right? Someone would take him. Like drop Mantha, drop Ellis, like the guys who are injured and doing nothing on your team. I don't know. It's rough because he probably just figures, hey, I'm going to stay put and see what happens. But you got to be a little more active, I think, sometimes to compete in this league. And
Well, that's the thing. It's not like his roster is full of gems like Travis's was, and you just got to wait for those gems to get back. These aren't A+ players. They're good players. I mean, Max is probably the closest to an A+, but like Kucherov. Okay, yeah, that's true. Kuch, I forgot about Kuch. But like Ellis, he's a good defenseman, but he's not irreplaceable. You know, there are trades to be made out there. There are waiver wire pickups that would fill the roster spot.
Yeah.
You know,
this is his strategy, whether it works for him or not, I guess. But I must say, I think Daltrey's been improving ever since he picked up Saros. I think that was a great move for him. He's competing in stats that he couldn't compete in before.
It was the trade that he needed to make, and he made it when he needed to make it. It was one of those times where everything aligned for him, and he pulled the trigger when he should have. Well done to him.
Ranta is a steep price. Rantanen is a steep price, but I can't emphasize enough. And this is again my personal opinion, but goalies are key in this league. If you don't have a goalie, then you're in a lot of trouble. You're struggling to get those wins. A third of your stats, right? A third of your stats is those goalies. So having someone who's reliable in there, it just makes all the difference in the world.
And that's the thing, is that he didn't just get a goalie who's going to get him starts. This is a goalie who's going to go out and get him wins.
Yeah,
you know, that's
Nashville's been surprisingly good.
Yeah.
No, I agree. It was the right call, the right pickup, but I know it hurts when you're getting rid of something of value, though, right? But you know, you gotta give to get.
Yep.
Captain Crunch here defeated you a little bit here. Hey, roughed you up a little bit, 8-5. To be honest, this is closer than I thought it would be. I was actually very interested all weekend in how this matchup was going to turn out. Why don't you tell me what happened?
Well, the Calgary Flames have gone on a 4-game losing streak, which is, of course, translated directly to the 2 best goalies on my roster. Which means, you know, unfortunately means I have to handle Markstrom being a human being. He's just been okay. And unfortunately, while he was just being okay, and Vishmelka being god awful, Captain Crunch's goalies were a little bit better. His skaters heated up at the right time. Fucking Uyghur getting all those penalty minutes in the last game. Like, I actually had a point in the middle of the week where I thought I had him. Because I was ahead, and I was like, maybe I got him. And then all my skaters decided, nah, it's okay.
Like, let's be honest, though. Like you said, Vejmelka is crap, but it's like his team is crap. It's a gamble. Like anytime you put him in the net, and not to say anything about his skills specifically, just it's a gamble that team shows up or not. Like,
and I'm doubling down this week. I picked up Wedgwood.
Wedgie. But at least, hey, I like that you're not giving up on the week. It sounded like you might have been, but you made a goalie move that didn't cost you anything, right?
Yeah.
So why not? But you get a tough opponent, Captain Crunch, right? He's only got 1 loss on the year, but you know he's in tough this week. We'll talk about that later. He's in tough. I think he might get another one. This matchup, I was happy for this because this is one of the predictions I took a little flack from Corey on. But Patch pulling through, Patch defeating, get off my grass 7-6. I said there'd be some upsets this week. This was one of them. What do you think of this matchup?
I actually sided against you on this one. I thought Get Off My Grass had it, and it looked like he did. He came awfully close. Patch pulled out the win. Good on him. Good on you for thinking of the upset. I just thought Get Off My Grass wasn't running out of gas yet.
Yeah, I think he's starting to now. Like his team's kind of winding down a bit, right? He's been making a lot of moves, and he lost a lot of good pieces. So now I think you'll start seeing him slowly slide down the standings, and that's good news for anyone in the middle because then someone's going to slide into that spot, right? Maybe it's you.
Who knows?
Next matchup. I don't know if anyone saw this coming. Maybe the win, but not in that manner. Travis's boys showed up. Baltimore Orioles defeating the whole shaft 15-0. What do you think of that?
I had whole shaft to win on this one, so I was really disappointed by the result. I didn't expect, if there was going to be a win for Baltimore Orioles, I figured it was going to be like a 7-6.
Yeah, I thought it would be close, right?
But not this. I mean, Nick has a really, really good team. So to do that to a really good team, I think the sleeping giant we all expected that was going to happen at the beginning of the season might be waking up. And I think Captain Crunch, I think he's going to have his work this week.
So there's some things that'll play effect into that, right? So we have a lot of COVID games, people losing starts and whatnot, but you might be right. Like, this is what we've been saying. Travis has talked about like going all into sell mode a couple times, and how many times have we in the chat talked them off a ledge? Like, hey, you just gotta relax. Like, just be patient. Your team's injured. When they get healthy, you're not out. And that's the thing I'd say to anyone right now. Anyone in the league, really, you are not out of it. To me, it's too early to be like full on sell. Sell if it makes sense, right? But to be full on sell right now, like, anyone can sneak in, and once you make it in, anything can happen. I mean, personally, yeah, it's nice setting yourself up for next year. But personally, I want to battle for that prize every year, right? That's just me, because I just want to win. But I know, I like you said earlier, Nick has a great team, and to see him get beat down like this, it's unexpected for sure. And even Nick stated in the chat the other day, is like his boys like showed up, and when they show up like that, it can be a scary team.
Yeah.
This one, I love this one, because I didn't pick Mark. What I said on the last show was, if ever there was a week where Neil looked weak, that was it. With Shesterkin out, Rask taking up that dead roster spot, and what happens? Seven on the ice just walks in and clobbers. I'll say clobbers. Suck my Ojik 9-5. I don't know if anyone really saw that coming, except Mark. He predicted that he would win.
I didn't. I thought Neil was going to pull out the win. I didn't have a very good week prediction wise this week. So I thought Neil had it. But I mean, good on Seaman on the ice. I mean, good job. Because again, Neil's a really good team, real good competitor. I think the Rask pickup was a little bit early, but
I think it was pretty.
At the same time, I was kind of tempted doing it too. So
you gotta show some restraint, though, right?
Yeah.
Well, you have nothing to lose, though. You're kind of selling. It would have been a good time for you to pick him up and just hide him until he's healthy, right?
Yeah.
For a guy like Neil who's competing, I don't know if I like that move. This week is a great example why. He all of a sudden has like 4 guys on the IR because of COVID, right? Yeah. And he has Rask taking up that dead spot. Like, I don't like it, but who cares? Who cares what I think? What we got here? Sorry, I'm just moving this because I need to go. Oh, take a look at the standings quick. So Division 1. Well, those losses for both Neil and Dan, it looks like it, creates a little space there for Captain Crunch. He now has a 4-point lead up on those two. Still close. Pacioretty with that win though, sneaking into 8th place over here.
Yeah.
I think he's the sole owner yet, because 9th place is right behind him by a point. So that tie costing Kyle into a playoff spot. I know it's still early. There's still a lot of weeks. I mean, there's still 12 weeks left essentially, right? So
yeah,
but
there's plenty of there's plenty of time to move up. And I mean, given Kyle's roster, he will.
Yeah.
But
even down here, you look at 16th, right? He's only 4 points out of a playoff spot. Like that, a lot can change, and that's what people say. Oh, I gotta wait for a lot of teams to lose. Well, in this league, everyone can lose any week because any team has that ability to just come out and have a big week and beat you.
Yeah.
Who would have thought Neil would and Dan would have lost last week, right? But it happened. So, just because you're at the bottom doesn't mean you're out if you play your cards right. Why don't you tell me about Division 2 here, since I took Division 1.
Well, Division 2, you've been pretty steady. You're holding on to first place in the division. Charlie Brown's, right behind you.
Where he belongs.
Kind of impressed me. What?
Where he belongs.
Poor guy just keeps eating it every week from you. Daltrey's holding well as well. Whole shaft. I like the fact that he's back in the playoff spot because again, his roster was too good for being outside of the playoffs when he was. So it's nice to see him in a playoff spot. And it's nice seeing Baltimore Orioles climb that ranking. From where as low as he was, he's just steadily growing. So it's still like a very competitive division because even those on top are still battling amongst themselves, and there's still some on the bottom that are creeping up. So it's quite a competitive division.
There's only 7 points from first to last in that division.
Yeah,
it's a lot can happen, right? I will say this though, because you were just making a comment about how Charlie Brown takes it from me every week, but he beat me, right? He beat me, so
true.
I get to take these jabs at him, but he beat me. But yeah, I think overall, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a really good finish to this season. Honestly, I'm getting excited for the playoff race. I know we're not even halfway through the season yet. I think next week will be like the halfway mark, actually. Week 11.
We're getting close to about the halfway mark there.
Week 11, because there's 21 weeks, right? So I'd say week 11 is that spot. We're at halfway, and you can really evaluate kind of what your team looks like because it's going by fast.
Yeah.
I know we meet up in week 15, buddy. You better be ready. I have it circled on my calendar, like free win.
I'm hoping Markstrom just has a series of shutouts that week.
If Vejmelka lets it 8 at night.
Ugh.
This one. Week. So good standings though. I think things are going really well in the league for everyone. Some a little better than others, but there's still time. Like if they just make a move or two, all of a sudden they pick up a couple wins. Just even 2 points is so valuable right now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some trades. There weren't a lot. There's actually only 1, 2, 3, 4 trade. Not even 3 trades last week. So we're going to talk about the 2 that happened this week as well. Because why not? So last week, after the ones that we covered on last week's show, there was an interesting trade. Hockey Balboa received Nazem Kadri and an 11th. Dan received Brock Besser and a 7th. What do you think of this trade?
I think it's a little bit early. Like I think it was a bad time to trade a Vancouver player because now with Bruce Boudreau coming in, fixing the like already they're like he's had him for 2 games, and the last 2 games they've looked a lot better.
Actually, to correct you, they're 4-0 under him.
4-0. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was 2 games or 4, but they look a lot better. They're playing a lot tighter. I think it was a little bit early to pull the trigger on anyone from Vancouver.
To me, I'm the opposite. I think it was the perfect time to dump some Vancouver Canucks, not knowing. Turns out, that hey, no, you probably should have kept them. Besser has scored in every game since Boudreau took over, so he's been on a little bit of a tear here. I don't know. I think Kadri though isn't slowing down either, right? It just happens though Kadri was day to day right after he picked him up, so he didn't really play against me last week when Hockey Balboa picked him up.
Yeah, it was a great time to acquire Besser. I think it was a bad time to get rid of him.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. Like, and plus, and not only did you acquire Besser, but you also acquired a 7th.
Yeah, I know. Right? He was the throwaway player. Was Brock Besser like? Ooh.
Yeah,
Kadri's having a good year, but is it going to hold up? Is he going to maintain that pace? He's never been one to maintain that kind of offensive pace, right?
And the thing is
So
too, is like as Colorado becomes healthier, he's going to move back in the lineup. His minutes
that's
are
what
going
I
to
was worried
decrease.
about. Like, is he going to keep his spot? It's an interesting trade. I think it works for both teams. I don't like the picks though. I don't like the picks.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm
I
not
don't
keen
like the
on him.
seventh. I'm notoriously stingy with my picks when it comes to the value I get for them. Right? To me, if I'm not getting the right value for that pick to move it, then it makes no sense to make the deal to me. We'll talk about that later when we talk about another trade.
Oh yeah.
Uh, I guess I was involved in a couple trades yesterday. Well, let me tell you a story here. I'm sitting around and I get a message from Kyle Bergeron, and he's messaging me like, "Hey, you have pickups? Can you pick up a guy and I'll trade you for him?" And I said, "Hey, I don't have a spot because if I make a move, I have to move Getzlaf off my IR into a position because he was healthy.
Yeah.
So I can't help you. I can't pick up Ranta for you. But what I can do, seeing as my goalie's killed it, so I can trade you Stolars, who's starting for a pickup grade, right? So that's what I did. So I moved Stolars and my 17th for Mrazek and a 16th. Immediately after that trade, I put Mrazek on the block. And right away, I got a biter. Corey traded me Tage Thompson and a 15th for Mrazek and my 18th. So I consider them all one trade, kind of. What do you think?
Honestly, a way to get maximum value out of Peter Mrazek. You know, I mean, everybody kind of wins out of that one, although Mrazek had an awful first game back. So if there was a loser in the trade, that'd be it. But again, you got to start. You got a goalie start. And if you needed a goalie start, you got it.
Well, this
Really
was all
no losers
Sunday.
in the
This
trade.
was Sunday. So he didn't even get that goalie start yet out of.
Oh, so he didn't get the Toronto start.
No. He picked him up for the upcoming week.
Okay. Well, yeah, I don't know. I think you definitely won out of both trades. Tage Thompson's also a pretty good hockey player too.
I
He's
tried
doing
hard
pretty
to
good on
pawn
both.
him off.
What?
I tried hard to move him yesterday, but no biters. My logic though was I needed that roster spot clear so I could get Getzlaf off of the IR. So that was my logic is, hey, I can trade Stolars, but I got Mrazek who's worth something. I'm like, I better move him. I thought it was a good deal for Kyle because, had I really known Gibson was injured, if I would have done my research, I probably would have cost him a little bit of a higher pick. Right? Because he's going to be the man. He's going to turn Stolars into something this week. But Mrazek, I said, hey, anyone want for a small pick upgrade? I got a message. What's the upgrade? I'm like, I want to get rid of my 18th. I'm looking to get something between the 14 to 16. And he says, I have a 15. Deal made.
Yeah.
I
It was
think
good for everybody. Like everybody did. Nobody came out of it really a loser. But
if
you
you're going to have
definitely came
a
out strong.
backup goalie, you want to back up on a team that can play, right? And Toronto can play.
True.
I guess I'm involved in the next one again. That happened last night. No picks. Sean and I got to talk, and I messaged him. I said, hey, I really like Chandler Stevenson. He was a big part of my team last year. Shorthanded GWG last year in the finals, came up clutch. Chandler called me up, said, hey, I want to come back to Team Ramrod. So I said, I'll make it happen. So I messaged Sean, he didn't want to part with him. Even when he made the deal, he was like, I think I might regret this, but I don't think he could take his eyes off of the prize, right? I had two good players for one player who I think is slightly better than the other two, and any player he wanted to throw in, which was Maroon. So I ended up getting Stevenson and Maroon for Palat and Giroux. What do you think?
Well, I think it's a pretty good old-fashioned hockey trade, as they say on TSN, because, no picks involved. You're basically trading 2 good players to essentially get 1 really good player back. So I think
You get
that's the way the
upgrade,
math
right?
works out. Yeah. So yeah, I think it was a good trade for both sides. I mean, both sides get a serviceable player. And if Pat Maroon's the throwaway player in the deal, well, Pat Maroon's still a pretty damn good hockey player, and he still puts up some good numbers. So
3-time defending Stanley Cup champion right now.
True. So, I mean, yeah, it's a good trade. It's another one where nobody really loses in the trade. Everybody gets kind of what they want. So, yeah.
My big thing too, a big thing for me was getting a throwaway player, because again, when I had to move Getzlaf off the IR, I had no one I wanted to drop. So for me to throw 2 guys in to get a guy that's better and a guy that I don't feel bad about dropping if I need to was pretty key for me for my roster management, right? Because now if I have to drop something, well, it's going to be Maroon. But
well, that's the thing. You see some flexibility.
Yeah.
So
and I upgraded my forwards.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sean. I know I rag on him a bit, but he's actually pretty easy to deal with, though. Let's go into this trade. This is the trade that kind of, set the chat on fire. That was my fault too. I just like to egg it on a bit sometimes. And I don't like the trade. Well, we know what I think about the trade. Let's see what you think of the trade. So
yeah.
Sorry, I'm just gonna tell you what happened in the trade first. Hold on.
Sorry.
Pacioretty received Anthony Duclair, who's healthy now. He wasn't healthy earlier. Anthony Cirelli, who's day-to-day. A 6th and your 16th. Going the other way to Captain Crunch is Joel Eriksson Ek, Roop Hintz, who's now on the IR, an 11th and an 18th. Tell me what you think here.
I'm going to be as diplomatic as I can be about this one, because this is a really bad trade. I think, first off, good for you, Pacioretty, because you come out of this one looking like you're running out like a thief in the night. Rupe Hintz is not that great a player to justify being part of a first-round draft pick trade. I mean, if he's worth a first-round draft pick, I have Boone Jenner and Jakub Voracek, who are worth a pair of first rounds each.
I just traded 2 20-point guys yesterday. I could have got 6s for those.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, I get trade values are high, and I'm a guy who's trying to sell, so I get trade values are high. I'm just trying to get my draft picks. But like, when I see a trade like this, and I'm like, if somebody else can make this trade, why the fuck can't I pull off a trade like this?
So I have it on good authority that this wasn't negotiated. This was just offered.
Well, I mean, I don't like.
So
Again,
Captain Crunch just sent a trade here, and bam. I wouldn't have turned that down if I was Nick. Of course, no. I'll take your 6.
Oh yeah.
What else do you want me to have?
Nick literally came out of this like. Nick comes out of this smelling like Febreze Mick kissed a lemon, like beautifully. Because I mean, if somebody offers me that trade, I'm doing it before that person wakes up. And I'm messaging you because I know like you're saying like, hey, don't message me for trades, but I'm messaging you to say, hey, like approve this trade before he realizes he made a terrible mistake.
I don't care if they made a mistake, right? I care if it was an accident, both people want to reject it, right? Other than that, I don't care. We got involved.
Yeah,
before,
I'm like slipping you a 5,
down.
like approve the trade now. Like
that's what makes me want to just take my sweet time with it. Oh yeah, I'll do that later. But my point earlier, right? Duclair and Eriksson, they're like the same guy. Very similar stats. They have like pretty much the same amount of like hits and blocks. I think Duclair has a point or 2 more, but it's close, right? The difference is Eriksson is probably playing on a better line. But I wouldn't justify even a big pick for that, right? I guess you can justify the 16th from the 18th there, maybe. But Cirelli and Hintz, they have the same stat line. Pretty much 3 hits difference, same amount of points. I don't see the difference. And I got someone put up that, hey, Hintz is just a better player because Cirelli will drop down in the lineup. He's dropping down the Tampa Bay lineup. It's not like he's dropping down on a crappy team. He's going to get his playing time still. Okay, so he's going to play second line instead of playing the top line right now while Kucherov's hurt. I still think the value does not warrant a 6. To me, either player, and this is being generous in my opinion, is either player is worth maybe an 8 maximum. To me, a 6 should be like, if you're getting a 6, you're getting a superstar. You're getting like a top player in the league, or you're getting a goalie, right? Even like some top players in the league, I wouldn't value them over a 7th. But that's just roster management, right? That's how I value things. I don't.
I agree with you, because like if I look at this trade, I think, okay, like if you break it down into sections, Duclair, Eck, okay, I can see the 16th for an 18th trade. That's fine. Those are pittance picks. That's fine. And if I'm doing Cirelli for Hintz, that difference between a 6th and an 11th is a colossal difference. And if you're gonna justify moving your 6 for such a small difference between 2 players, oh, like I mean, I hope for Captain Crunch's sake that Hintz just like turns it around and becomes, Connor McDavid in the next couple months, because then we're all idiots for questioning him, and then he's Jesus. But
it's hard to say because he knows what he's doing. He's 8-1, right, or 7-1, like. But I don't know. I don't like the optics of this deal right off the bat. I don't think Hintz is a keeper, in my opinion.
I don't think so either. But Captain Crunch always has that one head scratcher trade every season, where we just go, what?
He already had that this year. He traded Ned. He had a young starting goalie in Detroit on a team that's on the up and coming here, and he just moves them. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it for Captain Crunch. I do love it for Pacioretty. Great deal for you. Well, on the other hand, as Captain Crunch's nemesis, I'll say, as former opponent, constant opponent. Yeah, I do like it. Keep making those deals. All I gotta say is next year, come to me. I'll give you a better deal than that. I'll give you a 30-point guy for that 6. But yeah,
it was a head scratcher. It's a head scratcher.
It is. That's why I was very vocal today about that thing. I just didn't understand. Anyway, let's go to this week. We got some big matchups this week. So let's start off here. Let's start talking about the Champion here, 6-2, 6-2-1. Sorry, 6-2-1 against the 3-5-1, 7 on the ice. What do you think is going on here?
I've got you to win this one. Simmons doesn't have a bad roster, but I just think your roster is better. Just when I'm looking at it, I mean, COVID always is going to kind of play in the corner, but at the same time, like, I just think on a face value, I think your team's just better.
COVID hit him hard today. He lost Marchand and Tays to it. So yeah, so COVID hit him. I'm with you. I think I'm going to win, but I say that every week about my team. I just always think I'm going to win, even when I don't. But I always think I'm going to win, because to me that's important. It's just like, hey, I think my team can fucking do it. But yeah, I'm hoping Stevenson comes up big. That's why I got him. But next matchup here, we have the 3-6 I got canceled, who might be a little distracted in real life right now, versus the 2-5-2 Hockey Balboa. What do you got here?
I'm always going to be against Braden until he fixes his roster. So as default, I'm going to go with I got canceled. Also, I mean, Braden, come on. The guy just had a kid. You didn't buy him a gift. Least you could do is just kind of lay down for him.
Last week, a few people picked Balboa. They had no faith in the champion. But I'm gonna actually pick Hockey Balboa this week. I think both teams are kind of the same to me, right? They're the same spot in standings, really, point wise. Derek's ahead because he has one more win. But I think the difference is Campbell. I think Campbell could steal him a week, and that's what I'm basing this on. Is I think both teams are pretty even. I just think Campbell could be a difference maker.
Fair.
Oh, here we go. This is a good matchup here. Cherry picking Daddy at 3-4-2, taking on. Do y'all try the beef at 5-4? Who do you got here?
I've got Daltrey on this one, but I think it's going to be close. You know what? This could actually be another tie, but I'm gonna go with Daltrey just on the slight edge.
I'm also gonna pick Daltrey, and it's not that I don't want to pick Kyle. I feel his best forward is Terry, and the Ducks only have 2 games this week after 5 last week, right? So they're on a downswing in games. He's holding on to Stolars right now. He's trying to move them, but I don't know. Yari and Saros, both good goalies. Bauer, not so much. Smith is getting closer to returning, so I don't know how many games Koskinen gets this week. I just think I think Daltrey deserves the benefit of the doubt just based on his recent performance. And that's not knocking Kyle's team. I actually, as much as I disliked Kyle's team last season at the start of this season, I have to give him respect. Like, his team has come a long way. Yari has pretty much become a bona fide starter. I didn't think he was there yet, and all of a sudden this year, I think he's performing like one. And the emergence of Terry, Terry is fucking scary. But Fair. I'm gonna give the edge to Daltrey.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the one that we want to talk about. The 8-1 Captain Crunch versus the 3-6 Baltimore Orioles. What do you think is going to happen here?
This is a tough one because my heart wants to say go for Travis, but my brain says go for Captain Crunch, just because Travis just found out that a bunch of his players were put on the COVID protocol. And if it keeps going the way it is, I just think that's purely the reason why he's got the disadvantage. If it was 2 healthy rosters against each other, I would go without a doubt to Travis on this one. But I'm going to give it to Captain Crunch because, and if he wins, by the way, I want his name changed to Captain COVID. But yeah.
He's dominated the COVID era. Well, it's hard to go against Captain Crunch, right? But I often do. I don't know why. It's just there's something about his team I don't like. I can't argue with results, right? So there's some respect there. But there's something about Captain Crunch's team and his strategies. It clashes with my mentality in it all, right? He doesn't have like a real goalie. I guess Reimer, but how reliable is Reimer long term? But other than that, like I don't know. There's nothing on his team that speaks to me that says, "Hey, these are great players." Oh, the exception is I do like Uyghur. I've inquired about him several times, and every time he shuts me down, pretty much tells me to fuck off. But I think I'm gonna go with Travis. I think Vancouver right now is on a hot streak. It's hard to say Demko's gonna slow down as long as Vancouver keeps it up. He's got a couple Canucks. He's got Ekman Larson and JT Miller. Man, those Vegas guys, like, they lit it up last week, and I know when they get going, they're hard to stop. So I'm gonna say Travis this week. We could see an upset. Again, like we said earlier, it could be a giant, a sleeping giant that's been a Logan, right?
Yeah.
This matchup, we have the 6-3 Get Off My Grass taking on the 2-5-2 Saucier Pass.
I am going to predict an upset. I think Saucier Pass is going to take it because I think Get Off My Grass is going to start. I think he's going to start. He's going to start running out of gas here, and I think it's going to give enough for Saucier Pass to take the win.
That's fair. He has a lot of offense, Corey, right? My one thing is like Dan's been selling, but he came out the winner in that with the Besser, picking up Besser. Oh, that's the throwaway player you're looking to get rid of. I don't know. I think a lot of it's gonna be determined tonight. Does Knight have a good night and earn another start later this week? But Corey's not even here to defend himself. I'm gonna go against him again. I think Dan's gonna pull it out. Just in time, get his morale high. So next week he gets dropped right down when he takes on the champion. So Dan, I'm getting for you, Dan. Next matchup here, Pacioretty at 4-4-1, pretty much as 500 as you can be in an odd week. Taking on the whole shaft, who looks to rebound after a tough week. What do you think?
I am gonna make. I'm gonna predict a tie.
Tie.
I think you got two rosters. I think you've got two rosters that I think are both pretty heavily affected by COVID. Because last I checked, I think they've both got a few players. And I think with the looming in the background, I think Nick's team's gonna be hurt worse. Because he's got some Canadian players, and Canadian teams just seem to be getting it bad too. Also, Patrick Rumble is still a pretty good team despite selling. So it's either gonna be a tie or Nick's gonna win. I'm gonna edge towards the tie.
Well, I mean, Nick's gonna win either way.
True.
In battle of the Knicks here, I'm gonna go with the whole shaft. I think even though Gibson's hurt, they only play twice this week. That's not going to stop Vass from being Vass. It's not going to stop Holtby and Dallas. Dallas has been pretty strong. His goalies, Patch's goalies, I just don't know what one you're getting. Which Columbus is coming out to play tonight? Is it the Columbus that shuts everything down, or is it Columbus that lets 8 goals in? You just don't know. They get blown out just as much as they win, right? So, yeah, I'm gonna go with the whole shaft.
Yeah, fair.
This one here, this is the week that Neil needs. Although, the 5-2-2 Suck My Ojic are a little vulnerable against the very injured 2-6-1. Please don't feed the goalie. What do you think?
I think Neil's got this one. Like you said, please don't feed the goalie. He's very injured. I think even just healthy roster versus healthy roster, Neil's roster is better. So I've got Neil on this one.
Oh, he's probably going to win. But, this COVID is starting to affect Neil. If it was anyone else he was playing this week, he'd be in a lot of trouble. I think he's going to pull it out, but hopefully for his sake, he's healthy by next week. It depends on how long they stay in that COVID protocol, right? So, yeah.
Yeah.
You want to talk about? I know you've been dying to talk about this. The 3-5-1 Clefbaum has vowed to defeat the 5-3-1 Charlie Brown. That's what I heard, at least. What do you want to confirm that?
Well, I don't know. Like I've if my roster was playing, I would think I could give Charlie Brown's a run for his money.
With your goalies, you mean?
I have no Calgary starts.
But you got Arizona. There should be faith there.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'll take famous last words for 500, please. So I mean, I want to always root for my team, of course, but I'm going to go Charlie Browns. I think Charlie Browns has got me. My team's ravaged. I've got a lot of guys on the IR, and a lot of games postponed. So I'm going to go with Charlie Browns on this one.
I'm with Charlie Browns, and I think it's going to be because of his recent pickup of Palat and Giroux. Great move, Sean. Great move. I think that's going to get you the win this week against Clapham. It's going to be too much for him. But yeah, I'm gonna pick that.
Yeah.
Some good matchups though this week, some big ones, with a lot of potential impact on the standings, right? You look at some of these, you got a 6th versus 9th when there's a point between them, essentially. 2 points between them. You got a 1st versus 12th, which usually wouldn't be considered a big matchup, but I don't know. Like this will determine if the giant, the sleeping giant, is for real or not, right?
Yeah.
You got an 8th versus 7th matchup. Gonna be huge for the standings. Yeah, I think there's some good matchups this week.
It could be a very interesting week.
Well, Kyle, I think that's all we have to cover. Do you have anything you want to say to the league?
Well, I think on behalf of everybody in the pool, I just want once again, congratulations, Derek, on the birth of your daughter.
Yes.
I think, what an incredible Christmas gift for you and your significant other. So well done. I'm happy that she's healthy. I know there was a little bit of a scare there. You posted that on Facebook, but glad that she's healthy, and well done, mom, baby, and dad.
Yeah, no, congrats, Derek. I know we're all kind of chatting with him the other day when he was in the waiting room, so it must have been a little nerve-wracking. I know it is nerve-wracking when you're waiting for the birth of that first child, right? You're anxious. You're like, oh, I can't believe this is happening, right? But no, congrats. Again, like Kyle said, we're happy that everyone's healthy and well. Yeah, that's an excellent point. It should have been brought up. Again, Kyle, thank you for joining us this week. I appreciate your help. It's been a long time since you've been on the show.
My pleasure.
Next week we'll review the prediction results again. So we'll keep a little mystery in this way. No one really knows where they stand exactly right now. But yeah, it's all in good fun, guys. Again, thanks for participating. Send in your predictions if you haven't already. You have until end of night. When I wake up tomorrow, if they're not there, then too bad, you lose out. But other than that, good luck everyone this week. Yeah, stay safe.